Description. Okay. Okay. Should this attendance taking okay. Anyway, let's go. Um, let me share the screen. Okay. Yes. So what we are trying to do in the last class is that I think you can see my screen here. Yeah. Here we go. Okay. Um, Last class. So you're trying to test jump up bit instruction um, by setting these three bits, 5 7 4F and 4 7. Okay, so when these three bits are set to 1 and when all other bits are 0, okay, the content of this byte address, the content of these three byte locations will be 80 80H. Is correct, because 10000 Okay? So all the three locations will have 80H. So that we have to check now whether it is set or not. Okay. So what I can do is I can set one of these location to 1 and other locations not set to 1. Okay. So to test both the conditions, okay? The reset condition as well as reset condition. Let us look into all the three possibilities. Okay. So I think okay, just a second. I need to take. Okay, so I think it's running spot on. Okay, yeah, here we go. Okay, so the program what I've written is something like this, guys. Last class I had the same program, but I had these addresses wrong. That is, I had taken now instead of taking the byte address, what I had taken in the last class is that if you want, you can go through that video I shared in the YouTube. I had taken these address. There is 5 7 4F and 4 7. Okay, so that's why I didn't get it. Now let us check. Okay, so what I'm doing is uh, I'm checking whether any of these bits are set to 1. If it is set to 1, just a second. It is on the line. If it is set to 1, then it will take action. I mean, it will check the bit. Based on that, it will take action. Okay. So I'll try to use both the jump if bit as well as jump if not bit. Let us use um, JB and JNB. Okay. So to understand both the operation of both the instructions. Okay. Yeah. So the program is clear, guys. Okay. So when this condition is satisfied, if for example, if 2a in 2a, oh sorry, that is I need to use bit address only, not the byte address. Sorry. Correct. Just a second. So the bit address is 5. Just a second. 574F and 47. Okay. 574F 47. Just a second. 57H. Okay. 4FH and 47. 47H. Okay. Yeah. So I'm checking these bit locations in bit addressable memory. If this is set to 1 or not set to 1, depending on the instruction, it will take a jump to these loops. So I've written the loops below this program, so that just to understand, how the jump action takes place, how the instructions are executed. Okay. So let us go with the program now. So I've written the program. Let us check for syntax error. So that is build target. Okay, no errors. Debug start session. I think somebody is on the line. Just a second. Okay, debug start session. So it is checking, is running the program. It will convert the assembly code into the machine code, that we call it as operational code, that we have understood in the earlier discussion. So somebody call the name again. Okay, yeah, here we go. So okay, so now I need to set these locations to 1. Okay, so to set these locations to 1, say the thing is I cannot access these locations individually. Okay? I cannot access just like a carry bit in program status word. I cannot look into, we cannot view single bit. We cannot only observe these bits. Okay. So for that, what we have to do is, so we have to go to this byte address. We have to check only this byte address and load data depending on whether it is set to 1 or is set to 0. If it is reset to 0, data will be 0000H. Okay. If it is set to 1, data will be 80H. 80H. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. Okay. So let us check the condition of these bits. Just a second. Somebody on the line. Okay. Yeah. So let us do one thing. What are the byte addresses? 57 is 2A 2928. That's it. Okay. 2A 2928. 2828. So I'll go to the address 28. Starting from 28. Okay. So I'll set 28 to 1. Let 29 be 0 and let no, that is not 1, sorry, 8. It should be 8. Okay. It should be 80. Okay. And I'll leave the next location 0. There is next MSB bit will be 0. Okay, that is 29. This is 28, 29. This is 3A. Let us set 80 to this. Okay. 88. Okay. So what we have done is in this okay. So in this program, 28 address byte address 28's MSB bit is set to 1. 29's MSB bit is reset to 0. 2A's MSB bit is set to 1. Okay. So just to test both the jump if bit as well as jump if not bit. That's the intention. Okay. Okay. Let's do it, guys. Okay. So I'll run the program. Of course, I'll use F11 on my keyboard. That is for the stepwise execution. Okay. F11 on my keyboard, starting from the first. See, even if you select any instruction, it will execute only. Okay. It started from here. We have to start from the first execution. That's why I'm stopping this. I'll run the program again. Build target. Okay. Build target. Debug start session. I'll set the data to starting from location 28. 28 is 80. 29 is 0. 2A is 80. Let us set it to 80. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Starting from first 11. F11 on my keyboard. Let's do check. It executed the first instruction. That is, it checks whether 57H is set to 1. What is 57H is? Go to the program. It is 57. There is 2A. 2A is set to 80. 80 means MSB is set to 1. MSB set to 1. Since jump if bit instruction checks whether this bit is set or not. Since it is set, it is true. It will jump to the target address. Okay. Target address, which is represented by a label in the program. It will jump to L1. It execute L1. Okay. Yeah. Let us see. Let us execute the program. Continue the execution. F11. So since say F11, okay. So since it is true, it has incremented the accumulator to 1. It has incremented the accumulator to 1, and it goes to the next instruction. It is not a subroutine. In subroutine, what happens is, if we declare it as a subroutine, it will execute the subroutine, and it will go back to the main program. But it is not a subroutine. It's just a jump in the program. It will continue with the execution of the rest of the program. Okay. So let us test the second instruction. Yeah, B is also incremented because say this is not restricted. After this instruction, next instructions will be automatically executed. Let us say I don't want to say L1 is executed when 57H is set to 1. This 8th line will be executed if the third instruction is executed. Okay, that is if 47FH is reset to 0. The 9th line will be executed if 47H location is set to 1. That is bit location 47 is set to 1. If one of these, let us say, if first condition is satisfied, it will go to this seventh line, it will execute seventh line. I don't want to continue the execution, I don't want to execute other two lines. Okay, in that case, what we can do is we can use a short jump instruction. Okay, go to use a short jump instruction, go to the last line. Let us say, let us call it as L5. What is L5? L5 is exit. That is NOP, no operation. Okay. So once this L1 condition is satisfied, this first instruction is executed. If it is satisfied, it will go to L1. After that, I don't want to execute these two lines. It will go to the last line, that is L5. Because after executing this, it will execute the next instruction. It says short jump. It's like a go to instruction in C program. It will go to L5. And in L5, we are not doing anything. I'm not interested. It will end the program. That's how it is. Okay. So like this, L5, this exit SJMP instruction has to be used for all the three lines. Avoid the execution of the next instruction. Okay, this line we don't require, right? Because here we don't require. By default, anyway, it will go to next line. Once this instruction is executed, when this instruction will be executed, when 47H is set to 1, 47 location, there is bit location, guys. Okay, don't get confused. 47 is the bit location. Okay, if this is set to 1, that we are checking in the program, jump if bit. If the bit is set to 1, that is 47 bit is set to 1, then it will go to L3. After executing L3, anyway, it will automatically go to next line. So then we don't require this, because anyway, for next line is L5, it will automatically go to the day. In fact, this SJMP can be used based on the requirement. Okay, so we don't require this instruction here. Let us take that also. Okay, for the same program, I'll stop debug session and continue from the beginning, because program execution has started. So I'll start the execution again. Debug start session. I'll set 80 location. There is 57H location to 1. There is 28H. Okay. MSB bit is set to 1. Next is 0. Next is, let us, for example, set to 1. There is 80H. 80H. Okay. So let us execute the program. F11 on my keyboard. Okay. So since 57H is set to 1 in this case, 57 is location is set to 1. It's storing 1. It will automatically jump to L1. After L1, I don't want to execute any more instructions. I want to exit the program. Okay. Then it will, after executing the increment A, of course, A will be incremented to 1. It will go to the next instruction. That is SJMP L5. After SJMP, executing SJMP L5, the compiler is forced to come out of the loop. That is, it will not execute any of the instructions following this L1 instruction. It will go to the last line, that is L5 NOP. After executing this instruction, it will come out of the program. Okay, so that's how we can check the jump if bit as well as jump if not bit. The same thing is applicable for jump if not bit. Jump if not bit, what does it do is, it will check whether the bit is 0. If it is 0, then it will go to a target location whose address is identified by the what you call now label. These are the labels. L1, L2, L2, L3 are labels. Okay, that's how JBC instruction is JNB instruction works. Okay, yeah. Let us see any other instructions are left. Jump instructions to be executed. So JNB instruction, JB instruction we have executed. That's very simple. That's quite straightforward. So we are left with let us say jump if bit jump if bit is set to 1 and reset to 0. Okay, let us try this JBC instruction. So it's very simple and okay. So for that, what I do is, let me not use all these lines. Okay, let it be there. No problem. Okay, let us say okay. I'll start from then the instruction should be JBC. I'm testing JBC instruction. JBC jump if bit is set to 1. So what does this instruction does is, it will check this location. It is a bit location. If it is set to 1, it will take a jump to L1 target location, but before going to L1, it will reset this flag bit to 0. It will reset this bit to 0. This is not done by either JB instruction or JNB. So what JB JNB only checks. JB's instruction not only checks the condition of the bit location, it will take action. What is action? If it is set to 1, it will reset to 0. If it is already 0, it will come out of, it'll go to the next line. It will automatically jump to next line. That's all. Okay. So let us execute this program now. Let us test JBC instruction. Build target. Suppose save the program, build target. But usually what happens, build target, it will save and build target. So that's not an issue, but it is a good practice to save the program. As a programmer, see, saving the program is important when we have multiple source codes in the program. Let us say we have tens of source codes, source code. I'm working with one of the source code at the present time. So then I'll not save the other program. I don't want to save the other codes. So in that case, better to save only that single program and execute the program. Okay? So saving is always, is a good practice. Build target, debug start session. Okay, go to okay. If it, okay, 57 is location. There is 57 location is, which is the location is just a second. Okay, just a second. Numbers of the line. Okay, just a second. I need to take in screen. Attendance, is it a recording? Okay, it is a recording. Attendance, okay, so just please give me just a second. I'm marking the attendance. Since it is in a recording the class, it will automatically record this attendance also who are present. This will automatically take the attendance. Very simple. This I can do it for some time. Okay, yeah. Let's continue this. There is 57. 57H location is there is 28. You can observe that here. 57 location corresponds to 2A. Okay. So which is the 2A location in this memory? 28, 29, 2A. This is 2A. Okay. And that's why what I do is, of course, we can set all the. Let us set all the let us decide all the three locations. This is 80. 29 is 0. I'll set 2A to 80. So that MSB bit is set to 1. Here we go. Okay. F11 on my keyboard. So it checks whether the MSB of this 28 location is set to 1. If it is at 1, it has to take a jump to L1. Before taking a jump, this location should be reset to 0. This should happen, if everything goes well. Yeah, F11 on my keyboard. Yes, what is this? Observe this. This bit is set to 1. That's sorry, this bit, this is 2A. This is 2A. Earlier we had set this to 80. That is MSB bit is 1 and other bits are 0. Other bits are 0. Okay. It checks MSB bit. Since it is set to 1, it will take a jump to L1. Before going to L1, this will reset this bit to 0. When this bit is reset to 0, the content of 2H now is 00H. 00H. Okay. So that's how jump if bit to the target location, and before taking a jump, clear the flag bit to 0. So C stands for clear, not for carry. Most of the time, there is a confusion whether C is for clear or carry. It is for clear, not carry. Of course, in JC, C for carry. In JC, C stands for carry, but in JBC, C stands for clear. Clear bit, clear the bit. Jump if bit. Before taking a jump, clear the bit to 0. Very simple. Okay, so that's how JBC instruction works. So I wanted to show you that JBC instruction and execution. And okay, so JBC instructions we also tried. We'll try compare jump not equal guys. I'll test it now. I'll take up after some time. Jump, I think JZ and JNZ we have tested. I think in the last class. Okay, so let us. I think DJNZ also we have worked out. Well, let us look into CJNE. Compare jump not equal. Okay. So for that, I'll go to this document CJNE. Let us execute CJNE. Compare jump not equal. So let us understand what is CJNE and how it is executed by the microcontroller. Okay, yeah, here we go. Compare jump, CJNE stands for compare jump not equal, if not equal, of course. Usually I don't use this if word, I don't know why. Compare jump not equal. Compare and take a jump to the target location only if two locations are not equal. What are the two locations? They are the source and destination. Okay, so we are comparing two locations. If they are not equal, then take a jump to the target address, which is represented by the label, and this label is part of the instruction. Label is part of the instruction. Okay, very simple. So instruction operation is very simple. So let us look into the example CJNE. Okay, somebody's on the line. Okay, 61. Yes, I need to take attendance again. Just a second. Okay, here we go. Yeah, CJNE instruction. So for CJNE, there are two arguments. First argument is register. Second argument, see, first argument has to be a register. It cannot be direct data. Okay, it cannot be direct data. It has to be register. Second argument can be content of a register. Okay, or it can be immediate data. Immediate data. Okay, and third argument is the label. Okay, so it will check whether R5 is equal to some data. In this example, it is 80H. If it is equal to 80, of course, decimal, not H is not represented. That automatically it is treated as a decimal. So content of R5, if it is equal to 80, it will take a jump to the label called as not equal. Okay, and it will execute the program. Some random, there are some instructions in this program. It will execute the program. Okay, if it is equal, okay, it will go to the next instruction. Let us check both the conditions. Okay, CJNE compare jump not equal. Yes, I'll delete this program. It's very simple. CJNE, let us say I'll use the accumulator a comma hash 06H. Okay, go to NC, not NE, not equal. Okay, before that I need to set accumulator to some data. Let me take some equal data to start with. Move a comma hash 06H. We'll check both the conditions, equal and not equal. Okay, if it is equal, then it has to go to the target location, which is represented by the label. Okay, so what is the label? Next instruction is NOP, or let us say, for example, increment B. Why to use NOP? No? NE, not equal. Okay, not equal, increment or not. Just to observe, understand the flipping operation. Okay, here we go. Very simple program. Debug starts because I change the source code. I need to build the target. Okay, sorry, I need to check for syntax errors, and I need to convert. Okay, there's some error. CJNE syntax error. Okay, okay. Yes, CJNE comparison not equal. Yes, illegal use of. Oh, I think it's objecting for. Okay, I'll say n underscore e. Let me check. It is objecting any word. Let us change it. Build target. Okay, because there is a problem with any. Any is a reserved word, so not use that. Okay, compiler has a issue with it. Here we go. Okay, build target. Debug start session. Okay, F11 on my keyboard. Okay, so first 6 is transferred to accumulator. Is correct. There's some data 6 is transferred to accumulator. In the next instruction, content of accumulator will be compared with some immediate data 06. Okay. If it is equal, it has to go to NE. That is not equal, or else it should increment B. Very simple. Okay. So if you learn on my keyboard again, okay. Since what is jumping to CJNE is going to next instruction though. Oh, correct. If it is, oh yeah, guess correct. If it is not equal, sorry, I'm not using this operators properly. If it is not equal, then only it goes to NE. In our case, it is equal. Since it is equal, it is going to next instruction. Okay, it didn't jump to NE. Let's say I don't want to execute NE now because this condition is not satisfied. I don't want to execute NE. What is the solution for that case? Use SJMP. Execute the loop. Okay. Use SJMP L5. Some execute. Exit just to exit from the loop. SJMP. Not SJMP. L5. L5 is NOP. Very simple. Okay. Yeah, I need to save the program. Okay, now we check the equal condition. Let us check not equal condition. Let us say the data is something else, 09H, for example. Let us see how CJNE instruction works. Debug. Okay, did it stop execution? No, it is executed. It is loading base. Okay, let us check this condition. That is CJ. Yes, kill compiler is loading. Yes, it is. It is ready. It's ready to run. I have modified the code. I'll save the program. Check for syntax error. Build target. Debug start session to convert the assembly code into operational codes. Okay, here we go. F11 on my keyboard. I'm taking some data now. 09H. Okay. So 09 is copied into accumulator. Okay. So next is whether a is equal to 06H. In our case, it is not equal. That what the instruction says. Compare jump not equal, go to NE. Jump to label NE. If you learn on my keyboard, it jumps to NE. Okay, it will skip next two lines because these are not executed because the condition is satisfied. Yeah, it goes to CJNE. It will execute CJNE. Sorry, NE label NE. After executing label NE, it will go to the next line. Next line of the code. That's how it is. Okay, so that's how CJNE instruction works, which stands for compare jump not equal. Okay, this one thing what we can test here is what if this is something else, register or not, or zero. Okay, R0 consists of zero. Initially it is zero. Let us test this program also, just to check, what are the limitations on the program, what are the conditions, what are the syntax. Okay, observe this. Expression type does not match. That means both source and destination cannot be registers. Yes, observe that. Let us look into this document. So in CJN instruction, the condition is that compares two operands and jumps if they are not equal. The destination operand can be in the accumulator or in one of the register. Okay, which is the destination operand is this destination operand can be one of the register, that is R0 to R7, or it can be accumulator, nothing else. Okay. What about the source? What is the condition on the source? The condition on the source is the source operand can be in any register in memory or in immediate data. The operands themselves remain unchanged. Okay, operands will not change, but it will only take action. If changes the carry flag to it changes the carry flag to indicate if the destination operand is larger or smaller. Okay, fine. What is the effect of it? Why do we execute CJNE instruction? Okay, any register, observe this CJNE instruction that what is this? Yeah, any register or R0 or R7 can be compared with any immediate value. There is no need for register A to be involved. Yeah, so register A is not necessary. Okay. Yes, let us check the program base. Yeah. So in this case, what it is generating error because this expression does not match. Okay, it has a register. Now we have both these source and destination as a register. Okay, either one of them has to be registered, other is immediate. See, source cannot be. Okay, let us. I'll try this one, guys. Okay, observe this program now. Let us say I'll use R0, R0, not RO, R0. Let us say some data, hash 06H, for example. Okay, when we run this program, when we check for syntax error, this is fine. Why? Because destination operand can be either accumulator or register. Fine. Source can be. Source is an immediate data. No problem. Okay. Can destination be an immediate data? Let us check that also. Okay. There is a hash 06H. We have to use hash 06H. Otherwise, it will treat it as a address. Okay. R0, not R0, R0, or not RO, R0. Okay. Let us check this program. Build target. Yeah, register operand. That is, destination cannot be immediate data. Okay, fine. Let us check with the memory address. What if memory address? Can it compare memory address? Let us take it as R0 and comma. Let us say 68. Where 68 is a memory address. Okay. Let us take this condition. Expression type does not match. There is this. What is happening here is it is expecting one of the especially the source to be an immediate data. It is expecting source to be immediate data. I'll test it like this. Let us take destination as a address, source as a immediate data. Of course, even if you try with source as the register, it doesn't work. Let us test this. Build target. Yeah, register operand expected. Okay, not possible. Let us take source as a immediate data, as let us say 06H. Okay, just to check what are the possibilities with the instructions. Yeah, this is also not possible. Okay, that is, the source has to be a register. Sorry, destination has to be a register. The source cannot be the anything else other than immediate data. Okay, that's not mentioned in this discussion document, but that is the condition. Okay, so now we'll try like this. Let me go to the compiler. Instead of address, I'll take the register. Let us say R1 or R4, whatever it is. Okay, and immediate data at the source. So destination is a register, source is the immediate data, and the target location. Check for syntax error. This is fine. Okay, so what we have to understand here is the destination can be source, that is accumulator or register R0 to R7. Okay, the source has to be immediate data. It has to be immediate data. Immediate data. It cannot be any register. It cannot be like accumulator or any of the register. Okay. Even this, if you try, there is accumulator. Source as a accumulator. You try this condition also. If you try this, it has a problem. Okay. So the only possibility is that destination can be any of the register. Source has to be an immediate data. It cannot be something else. Okay. So this is the condition of CJNE instruction. Compare gem not equal. Yes, this on the line. Okay. 61 it was 62. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So that's why we got that result. Okay. Yes, the question here is, why do we compare? Because see, first of all, we are loading the value to register. Okay. When we know what A contains, okay, if you know what register A contains, why do we check whether it really contains 06H? Okay. And what is the effect of executing CJNE instruction? One action is, it will not only take a jump, it will affect carry flag. Let us look into that condition, that result of execution of the instruction. I'll take R4 comma hash 06H hash 06H. Okay, so I'll take R4 data as 09. So R4 contains 09. R4 contains 09H. I'm comparing this with 06H. 06H. If it is not equal, it should take a jump to NE. That is not equal loop. Okay, it's not subroutine, it is a loop. Okay, we check for syntax error. Debug start session to convert assembly code into machine code. Okay, in terms of operational codes. F11 on my keyboard. Okay, so 9 is copied to register R4. Is copied into register R4. Okay, it will go to the next instruction, CJNE. It will compare R4 with the content of R4 with the 06. Okay, of course in our case it is not equal. F11 on my keyboard, it goes to NE. But before it goes to NE, okay, let's observe this. What happened is that none of the flags in the program status word is affected because it is not equal. Okay, it goes to NE. Of course, it will execute NE. It will continue. It will continue with the execution of the program. Okay. Now let us test the condition for equal condition. This was not for not equal condition. What happens if it is equal? Let me take data source data as 09H. Let us test this condition. Debug start session. Each time you change the source code, you have to do the build target. Of course, you have to save the program. As I said, it's always a good practice. Build target. Debug start session. Okay, F11 on my keyboard. So first 09 will be copied into R4, register R4, and it compares content of R4 with 09. In this case, now we have data 09. Okay, If it is okay, guys, observe this. Go, let us check the program status. What initially all are 0. Guys, observe this carry bit. What's going to happen to the carry bit? Okay, when CGN instruction is 1, okay, if it is equal, okay, if it is if it is equal, it will go to the next instruction. It will continue the execution of the program. Okay, so this carry flag, but carry flag is not affected. Just a second, guys. If changes the carry flag to indicate if the destination of run is larger or smaller. CGNE, okay. How the compare jump not equal? Okay, this okay. Compare jump not equal. Because in this case, what is compare operation? Okay, it is not checking whether there's two possibility. Whether destination is greater than or equal to source, then carry flag is 0. Okay, if destination is less than source, then carry flag will be set to 1. In our program, what we have, this is the first condition and this is the second possibility or second condition. In the earlier case in our program, what we had done is initially I had taken R4 as 06H, 09H. I compared with, let me erase on this, guys. Let me erase on this. So what I have done till now is initially I have taken R4. I'm sorry. R4 I have taken it as initially it was 09. I compared with 06. Okay, that means destination in this case is greater than what are the conditions? Just a second. Okay, destination is still greater than 0. Okay, this is correct. There is somewhere here. Okay, yeah. So in this case, destination is greater than source, which is the destination R4 is still greater than data 06. Okay, R4 is greater than 06. Next, I change R4 content to destination content to 09. That means now destination is equal to source. In this case, destination is equal to source. For both the conditions, we observed that carry flag is 0. Carry flag is 0. Now let us test this. Let us make destination smaller than source. Smaller than source. In that case, carry flag should be set to 1. If everything goes well, carry flag should be set to 1. That is the meaning of a compare jump not equal. Okay, CGNE. We are comparing two locations or two set of data. If it is greater than equal, that is if destination content, if it is greater than equal, greater than equal to source, then carry flag will be 0. If destination is less than source, then carry flag will be set to 1. Okay, this is what it's going to, this is what expected. Okay, that's a basic compare operation. But based on this comparison, whether destination is greater than or equal to source, how do we know? I mean, say, let's say, guys, in a network, what I'm trying to say is, let's say there are two systems. Okay, two systems are interfaced. Okay, so this is, let us say, system 1. This is system 2. System 2, 1 is sending some data to system 2. Okay, then I need to check some set of data. Let us say data 1 and data 2. Okay, I need to compare data 1 and data 2. Based on comparison, that is whether data 1 is greater than or equal to data 2, or data 1 received by system 1 and data 2 received by system 1 again is less than data 2. Based on these two conditions, I need to take some action. I need to compare the data. For comparison purpose, we make use of the instruction CJNE, compare jump not equal. See, manually we cannot go on checking each bit, each data, not possible. Okay, that's not expected. Okay, so let us make data less than destination less than source. Let us check the last condition, destination less than source. In that case, carry flag should be set to 1. Okay, here I'll make destination as there is R4 as 01. Okay, and source is 0. Okay, in this case, destination is less than source. I need to run the program again. So I have to start from the beginning. Save the program. Since I modified the code, I need to execute the program again. Debug start session. Okay, F11 on my keyboard. First instruction, R4 is loaded with 01H. Okay, next is CGN instruction. Now in this case, destination is R4 is 1, source is 9. So destination is less than source. observe this carry bit, guys. Oh yeah, I'll open it. Okay, observe the carry bit here. This is what is going to be affected. And when we check carry bit, we understand whether the destination is greater than or equal to source, or it is less than source. Okay, when CGN instruction is executed, we observe that carry flag is set to 1 because destination is smaller than source or lesser than source in terms of magnitude, lesser than source. Okay, what to do with this? Okay, now now the question, of course, here we are manually observing, we know carry flag is set to 1. I need to write a program where it should it should automatically decide, okay, whether in this case carry flag is reset to 0, and in this case, second case, carry flag will be set to 1. Manually I cannot check. I cannot go on checking. Let us say we are testing 1000 bytes. Can I go on checking each time when the compare operation is done? Can I go on checking carry bit? No, not possible. We write the program in such a way that carry flag will be tested automatically. Okay, so what is the instruction to check the carry flag is? The instruction which is used to check the carry flag is JC. Okay, you can use JC or JNC instruction to check the carry flag. Let us use JC. You can use either one of them. It doesn't matter much in our program, at least. Okay, where to use JC? When the JC will be affected is if destination is greater than or equal to source, carry flag is 0, and if destination is less than source, carry flag is set to 1. So carry flag is affected only after the CGNE instruction is executed. Okay, so carry flag testing will come after CGNE instruction. If carry, okay, okay, let me erase all this. Okay, jump if carry, go to L1, do some operation there, go to L1. Okay, so what is L1 is some increment A, for example. Okay, and L2 if, okay, now let's observe this. If let's say if carry flag is not set to 1, see, at least when carry flag is set to 1, it will check whether the carry flag is set to 1. Jump if carry flag is set to 1, it will go to L1. Fine. Okay, if it is not set to 1, that is if carry flag is 0, which is the case when destination is greater than or equal to source, it has to execute some operation. That let us include that after the JC instruction. Okay, there is jump if carry flag is set to 1, it will go to L1. If is not set to 1, if carry is still 0, then let us do some operation. Let us say, for example, increment B. But if the program only consists of these lines, what happens? If let us say carry flag is set to 1, it will go to L1. Fine, no problem. If carry flag is not set to 1, it will go to increment B. It will go to the next instruction. That is, fifth line. It will execute this also. To avoid that, use the exit sequence. What is exit sequence? Is SJMP L1, sorry, not L1, L5. L1 is already used. L5, no operation. That's all. Okay, very simple. Yes, let us execute this program. Okay, quickly. CGN instruction. Debug stop session. Yes, to appreciate this, exit sequence, I'll show you that, I'll comment this line for time being, I'll comment out this line for time being to understand the, exit sequence significance. I'll comment these two lines. Let us see what happens. Say the program, build target, F7 on shortcut, debug start session. Okay. In our case, what is the condition is destination is less than source. Destination is less than source. Carry flag will be set to 1. Okay. Yeah. F11 on my keyboard. Okay. Yes. R4 is set to 1. I don't know what's happening. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Let me. I'll run again because I didn't get the arrow. If arrow is not visible, then undefined symbol, where it is CGNE. Oh yes, NE is missing. Oh, sure. No problem. Okay, NE, sorry. That's why it is giving an error. NE. What is NE is? There is a increment on some operation. No problem. So this L5 should automatically come after last instruction. Okay, here we go. Okay, let us run the program. There was an error, that's why it was not executing. Yes. Debug start session. F11 on my keyboard. Okay, so first one data 1 is transferred to R4. It compares 1 with 9. Okay, so 1 is less than 9, it will go to NE. Okay, but before it goes to NE, what it has done is it has set the carry flag to 1. Wait, it's showing just. Okay, it has set the carry flag to 1. You can observe that it is set the carry flag to 1. It will execute NE, it will continue. It will continue. Okay, fine. Now, what happens if not equal? If greater than or equal to source. If destination is greater than or equal to source. Okay, so let us change the source to 0, for example. I'll change the source to 0. Okay, then okay, let us observe the program. So now what is the condition is destination is greater than or equal to source. So the carry flag should be reset to 0. Okay, this I'm checking now. Carry flag condition using JC. Okay. In the earlier case, what happened is that it didn't take a jump to CJNE. Okay. Comparison not equal, it goes to okay. Yes, sorry. JC instruction should come here. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. Extremely sorry. The JC instruction should come here. Okay, Salina. I'm sorry. I'll explain this again. Okay, please wait. In NE, we'll check JC. Jump if carry, go to L1. Okay. So what we do in L1 is let us say increment A, for example. Okay. If not equal, it goes to L1. If it is equal, let us say increment B, short jump to L. Yes, not equal. In that case, if jump if carry, go to L1. If no carry, short jump to L5. This will explain what I'm trying to do here is okay. Yes. So what we are doing is we're checking content of R4 whether it is greater than or equal to 0 or whether R4 is less than 0. Okay. So for R4 greater than or equal to 0, carry flag is reset to 0. Okay, carry flag is 0. Carry flag will be 0. If R4 is less than 0, the carry flag should be equal to 1. Okay. So in this case, what we are doing is we are checking two data. If not equal, it goes to NE. In NE, what we do is we'll check the carry. See, it has taken a jump. Okay. In this case, we check the carry. If carry is set to 1, it will go to L1. Let us say, for example, if these two are not equal, if R4 is the not equal to 0, okay, then it will if it is equal. Sorry, if R4 content of R4 is equal to 0, it will go to increment B. Okay, increment B, and it will come out of the loop. It will go to L5. It will go to L5. That's how it is. Okay, we can modify a little bit. You can think of a lot of modifications. Let me use JNC here. Jump if no carry. Okay, if jump if no carry, let us say it goes to L2. I'll take L2. What is L2 is increment B. Increment B. Okay. So and after this is JMP L5. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, because what is the final situation now is R4. If it is not equal, it goes to NE, and in where is NE guys? Yeah, NE. There I'm checking carry. If carry is set to 1, it will go to L1. Let us say if they are equal, R4 and data is immediate data is equal. It now again I'm checking, just to check the condition of carry. If it is not equal, if carry bit is not equal to 1, then okay, I forgot to use L2. Sorry. Jump if no carry, go to L2. Loop L2. In loop L2, we're doing some operation. All this operation is just for our understanding purpose. It goes to L2 and it will execute the program. If it is carry bit is set to 1, then it will go to L1, increment A, it will exit the program. Okay, that's how it should happen, guys. Okay, let us check. So check for two conditions, not three conditions. Destination is greater than source and destination is less than source. Okay, in our case, in the first case, what we are doing is destination is greater than source, so we are checking this condition. Okay, so let us execute the program. Build target, things are okay. Debug start session. Yeah, okay. Observe the carry bit. Carry bit is important to us here now. F11 on my keyboard. Okay, so 1 is transferred to R4. R1 is compared with 0. It is not equal, it goes to NE. What is NE? Not equal. Not equal loop. There again I am checking carry. Is it carry set to 1 is? No, because data greater than or equal to source, destination greater than or equal to source, carry is 0. Carry will be 0. I'm checking JC. Jump if carry, no carry. It will go to next instruction is JMP. It will go to next instruction. It will execute SJMP. It will go to L5. It will go to L5. Okay, very simple. Okay, so let us take the other condition. That is, data is greater than or equal to source. Data is greater than or equal to source. So for that, I'll take destination, sir, not data. Destination is greater than or equal to source. Okay, so destination, let us make it as, let us say, for example, 5. 5 is compared with 0. Target. Debug start session, but each time you run the debug start build target, you check the error, guys. If there are errors, program doesn't work. Okay, no meaning in doing debug start session. Okay, 5 stands for R4. 5 is compared with 0. Since it is greater than 0, observe the carry bit. Carry bit will be 0. Okay, it is going to NE. Again, it is checking whether carry is set to 1. Since it is not set to 1, it will go to next instruction, that is SJMP instruction, and it will execute the program. It will exit the program. Okay, let us take equal condition. Okay, last 2 minutes. I'll take only 1 minute. I'll take equal condition. Okay, debug stop session. So just to understand whether it is checking the carry or not. Okay. Okay, now I'll slightly modify the program. In any subroutine loop NE, I'll take it as JNC, just to check, not equal, not set condition. Build target, that is carry bit. I'm checking carry bit whether it is not set to 1 in the NE loop. Okay. F11 on my keyboard, I'm taking equal data now. Okay, what should happen is, if data destination is equal to source, carry is reset to 0. This carry is set to 0. I'm checking using JNC instruction. Jump if no carry. Okay, it should jump to L1. There is increment A should happen at least. Okay, let's go. Okay, F11 on my keyboard. Okay, 0 is transferred to R4. 0 0 is compared. Okay, now when 0 0 is compared equal, it goes to the next line. It goes to the next line. There we are checking JNC. Jump if no carry. Yes, carry is reset to 0. No carry. It should jump to L2. There is B should be incremented. Register B should be incremented. Observe this. F11 on my keyboard. Okay. It will go to L2 because no carry. Carry is reset to 0. So since carry was 0, it will goes to L2. In L2, B is incremented and B is set to 1. That is register B is set to 1. Register B is set to 1. That is register B contains 1. Okay, and it will go to the next line and it will exit the program. That's all. Okay, so in today's class we have understood CJN instruction mainly and JNC instruction. That means how to use JNC or JC instruction along with CJN instruction to check the carry, because CJN instruction will affect the carry bit depending on these two conditions. Okay, so that we have to check using either JC instruction or JNC. Which one to use, that you can decide. There is there is a particular rule which one to use based on the condition that we'll discuss later when we when we go to the other programming part. There we will understand which one to use, either to use JC or JNC along with CJNE instruction. Okay, fine. Yes, thank you. I think you're already late to the, maybe late to the next class. Thank you, guys. Take care. Stay home, stay safe. See you in the next class. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good day.